Hello everyone, I am Bad Name Boy and I'm here to teach you, how to play SCP Secret Laboratory. Now the only other complete tutorial on the internet is around an hour long, and I'm hoping to cut down that time for some of you guys. So here we go. Start. Roll the tape. What is it exactly? Well, it is a horror escape game. A good idea would be to have a microphone. That's important. Everyone talks, and the game is very reliant on talking to other people. Now, basic controls. The basic control for talking is Q. It's like your normal FPS control. So WSD to move, space to jump. C is to sneak walk, so people will not be able to hear your footsteps. Inventory. You have an inventory. Wow. Now, to pick things up, hold E. E is your general interact button to interact with things, like interacting. Like doors, hit E on a door and it'll open. Also, hold E on an object and you will pick it up and put it into your inventory. Hold tab to access your inventory. There, you can left click on something to equip it, or right click to drop it. Key cards. There are a few different key cards. It doesn't really matter what key card you have. If it isn't a commander key card or an O5, you really aren't going to end up getting anywhere. Great. Now, what the heck is going on? What's SCP? What is an SCP? Why am I in a bunker? What's the D class? What is this all about? Well, I'm here to tell you. Alright, this is based in a universe called the SCP universe. Wow, really? That's amazing. The SCP stands for Secure, Contain, and Protect. Now, what are they securing, containing, and protecting? Well, they're containing anomalous objects, also known as SCPs. Some examples of this is a rubber ball that every time it hits a wall it goes faster and faster until it kills everything in the world. So their goal is to contain these, hide them from society, and don't let word get out that these actually exist. This isn't real, of course. Duh. The map. Now, let me just start off by saying every floor of the map is completely randomized. There's like 5 to 8 different variations for each level, so it's pretty difficult to figure out what the map's gonna look like the second you spawn. However, you'll know which level you're in, which is pretty helpful. Alright, from the bottom to the top, we are going to go through the levels of the map. The first one being light containment. In light containment, it looks like this. These white hallways. And you're in luck because every single hallway is labeled, so you will know exactly what is behind the door before you go through it. Again, this is not going to be a 1-hour video, so I'm not going to explain all of that. Now, notable features of light containment. SCP-914. SCP-914 is this weird factory thing. How you use it? Well, you go in to the room with 914, then set the dial thing to fine. Make sure it's on fine. If it's not, you're gonna mess yourself up. Then hit the button and go into the left booth. Pull out whatever you want to upgrade or drop it, but if you drop it, someone's probably gonna steal it from you. Muggings are real, kids. And then you'll pop out the other side with a better thing. Keep doing this with your key card, so you can have a better key card, so you can go places. Alright. Also, in light containment, there is the light armory. Inside the light armory, there are light caliber weapons. Also grenades, which, I mean, doesn't really make any sense because those are completely overpowered. That is really all. To get out of light containment, you just have to take up this handy dandy elevator. It's literally labeled, like, it's not that hard to find. Come on, guys. Right, then you'll be transported magically into heavy containment. This is also where most of the SCPs spawn. Notable features of heavy containment is the Tesla gates. These things will fry you. You will die instantly. So what you gotta do is you gotta stand next to them to trigger them and then jump through before it kills you. There was also the heavy armory. The heavy armory is pretty important because it has heavy weapons. Heavy weapons deal more damage. Heavy weapons are more effective. They just are cooler looking and sounding as well. Also in heavy containment is the nuclear silo. Yeah, there's a nuke in the bunker. They just slapped a nuke in there. Anyways, you just gotta take an elevator that has like a LED sign above it saying Alpha Warhead, and then you just beep bop down there. You don't even need a key card, just hit the button and you've armed the nuke. Now, this will not set off the nuke, I'll get to that later. Keep going through heavy containment and you will find a checkpoint. Head through the checkpoint and you're in the next zone, the extraction zone. The extraction zone is a zone from which you can extract. Also, there are stripes on the walls for some reason. They're also yellow for some reason, probably to guide. It doesn't really make sense at all. But, however, this is where the intercom room is. And now, believe me, the intercom room is probably one of the most valuable things in this game. Because if you have a good enough keycard, you can beep bop down some stairs and broadcast a message to the entire facility for a certain amount of time. Servers change it. I don't it's kind of random. But this means that you can advertise your YouTube channel, your own YouTube channel, to everybody in the server. And they will go over to your channel and spam comments saying, "Why are you so annoying?" Because you should never ever do that. That's a horrible idea. Also, in the extraction zone, there are the exits. To find an exit, find a big door and use your keycard to open it. And there's another big door on the other side. Whoa! But you can't go through that. Instead, there's a tiny elevator to the side of the other big door. You head up that thing, and you will be on the next important level, the surface level. Surface level. You're almost there, don't worry. On the surface level, we have the exit, which looks like this. It's just a hallway. You just need to walk down it. This is where you go if you are a scientist or a D-boy or a guard. There is also the nuke detonation room. This is a little handy-dandy room that you just pop into with your 05 keycard, swippity swipe it, bam! Nuke is armed, and everybody inside the facility gets like 90 seconds to get out before everything blows up. The only downside being, literally anybody can go into the heavy containment nuke room and turn it off. Which is kind of sad, really, because everyone wants to turn off the nuke, but they make it so hard on you. This is also a very, very dangerous zone, and I'll get to that later as well. And now, we have finally made it to the players of the game. Wow. Number 1, we have the D class, also known as the D boys, also known as Orange boys. D class spawn in light containment. They are prisoners of the Foundation. The Foundation is testing SCPs on them. They're literally expendable, right? They're prisoners. And the D class's goal is to escape. Now, you spawn in light containment and the only thing you own is a itty bitty flashlight. And you're like, oh no, how am I ever going to escape? Well, search around and you can find some credit cards ranging from a green janitor card, possibly a yellow scientist card, or maybe if you're very lucky, the Visa Platinum card guard card, which is also pretty cool. Then, you take your card into the 914 machine we already talked about. Ring-a-ding-ding, now you have an 05 key card. Take that bad boy into the armory and out the exit, and there you go! You're gone! Woohoo! You're now in heavy containment. Your goal is to escape all the way to the surface without dying, and then go out the exit. Alright? Now, there are the rivals of the D class, the scientists, but only sometimes rivals. They all spawn with a key card, so they're already an advantage, but there is probably only going to be 1/4 of the amount of D class as there is scientists. So there are very, very few scientists. They need to get out of there very quickly, because if a D class finds a gun, then the scientist boys will be extinct in a matter of seconds. Now, what does this mean? This is bad. But you can cooperate with the guards and the Mobile Task Force MTF boys, and they will save you from the D class. You can also choose to make an alliance with D classes by taking them places with your keycard that they could not usually access. And then they won't kill you immediately. They'll probably kill you later, so you have a chance to plot. Now, it's kind of complicated. You see, D-class and scientists aren't supposed to be friends, but you will see many that are friends. So, here's a good rule to go by. If the other person is not trying to harm you in any way, don't kill them. It's the kind thing to do. It's the right thing to do. Just don't kill them, and then you will be all nice and good, and you'll have more bait for the SCPs also. That's a great point. I feel like a genius right now. Isn't that great? Next, we have the guards. Now, oh boy, life is hard if you're a guard. Right. So they spawn in the extraction zone, so they're further along than everyone else at the start of the game, which is pretty epic. No, you're wrong. They don't have a good enough keycard to get out to the surface. So their goal, if you are a guard, you want to go, you start with a gun, okay? If you're a guard, you start with a gun, you have a disarmor, which is pretty epic. Your goal is to sneak down through heavy and then into light containment and protect the scientists from the D-boys. Guards are on the same side as scientists. It's that simple. Cooperate together and you will win. That's the goal. Now, MTF. Now we're getting on to the cool units. These are units that you will respawn as after you have died. And you will die. I can guarantee that. Alright, MTF spawn on the surface area here. They have radios. They have guns. There are 3 different ranks. Cadet, Lieutenant, and Commander. And they all have different keycards and equipment. Their goal is to eliminate all the SCPs. Stop the Chaos Insurgency. Help scientists. And kill or capture the D-class. Their final overarching, your goal is to secure the facility and prevent any information leaks that could happen. So any witnesses that aren't scientists or guards should die. They should be killed and die. That is what you're doing. That is the goal. Do that. Perfect. But then, there is the polar opposite of MTF. Chaos Insurgency. And as you can guess, they are insurgents. And they cause chaos. Their goal is to invade and take over the facility. They can kill or help SCPs. You can help the SCPs if you are a Chaos Insurgency. You can also kill or capture scientists. Another goal for the Chaos is to rescue the D-boys, because the D-boys hate the Foundation, the SCP Foundation, and they will fight the Foundation for you. The final goal is to eliminate the MTF, because MTF, they're gonna eliminate you if you don't. So you better fight them, you better do it. That's how it works. Alright. Chaos Insurgency also spawns with a machine gun, but no radio, which is quite unfortunate. They also have their own keycard, which is great. Alright, now we move on to the SCPs. SCPs can talk to each other from anywhere on the map using Q. Alright, most SCPs cannot talk to humans, except for 1 and 2, and I'll get to that later. Alright, Number 1, first up, we have the Shy Guy, SCP-096. He's a little overpowered, and by a little, I mean a lot overpowered. If you look at him, if a pixel of his face is on your screen for 1 frame, he will start screaming. He can track anyone who looks at him through walls. And everyone who looks at him gives him 200 temporary health. He can also barge through doors. He can open any door in the game when you make him angry. So literally, it is impossible to hide from him. Unless you just don't look at his face in the first place. That is the only way you will survive, and that is the only single way that you can escape this guy. Otherwise, you're dead. You're just instantly dead. Okay? Makes sense? Right. Next, we have SCP-049, the Plague Doctor. Now, he is a doctor that claims to cure some sort of plague. I don't know. I didn't watch the movie. Anyways, he insta-kills you. He's also very sneaky. And if he kills you, he can turn you into a zomboid. Zomboids work for the SCPs, so they have the same team as the SCPs. They have the same goals as the SCPs. You are under direct orders from 049. If you disobey the 049, he's just gonna probably be pretty mad at you. I don't think he can do anything else, but still, work with your team, people. That's the goal here. Next, we have SCP-173, also known as Peanut, also known as the Lord Peanut. He can only move when he is in... The Peanut can only move when he is not in your direct line of sight. So that means if you're staring at him, he can't move. He just can't. It's that simple. Also, everyone who looks at him, or who is looking at him, will all blink synchronously every 3 seconds. So every 3 seconds, he will teleport forward a couple meters. And that means that you can't really outrun him. You will just have to all split up and hope that you're not the group of people that get killed by him. Right? He also has a lot of health. And the lower his health gets, the quicker he goes. Eventually, he'll be so fast that he can go straight through a Tesla gate without dying. He'll be going at the speed of light. Alright. Next up, we have SCP-939, also known as Frog Dog and Dog Dog. They can only see people who are not sneaking or people who they bump into. So, it's kind of easy to evade them. But, if they hit you, you cannot open your inventory or reload. And that is a bad thing. That is a very bad thing. Another bad thing is that they can talk to humans. They can try and convince the humans that they are not, in fact, 2 dogs made out of flesh, and in fact that they are just humans, like D-boys or scientists, that are trapped and they need to be let out. So, that's a good tactic. Convince people that you are not, in fact, a psychopath monster trying to kill them. And maybe they will let you in to kill them. Isn't that great? Next up, we have SCP-106, also known as the Old Man, also known as Larry. He is very, very, very resistant to bullets, but not as very resistant to grenades. So that's a better option, because it is literally impossible to kill him, even if you have 5 Chaos Insurgency, all with machine guns, and they just spray at him. You will all be killed. Alright, so, he can walk through doors. Any door in the game, he can just walk through. He can teleport through surfaces with his teleport ability. If he hits you, you'll be sent into the pocket dimension. Now, in the pocket dimension, you will slowly lose health, and you will see 8 hallways. Now, down these 8 hallways are 2 different choices that will happen to you. Those aren't choices. That's a decision made by the game, government, the game. Now, option A, you will die instantly when you go to the end of the hallway. Or, option B, you will just teleport into his chamber, which is interesting. Now, you must be saying, he seems pretty hard to kill. He seems like a pretty tough guy to take down. Now, this is where you are incorrect. All you have to do is be a sneaky boy. Now, what do I mean? There is this handy dandy little contraption, also known as the femur snapper, shown here. Right there, that's the femur snapper. How does it work? Well, you send someone into this little box of doom as sacrifice. Their femur will be snapped. And then, you just gotta hit a button, and he's recontained. He's stuck. The guy just gets dead instantly, which is fun. Moving on to the next SCP, SCP-079, also known as the computer. He can close and lock doors by accessing cameras in the facility. He can trigger Tesla gates and trick you into walking into the Tesla gates and killing you, or killing another SCP if they're bullying him with a Tesla gate. He can also talk to humans through speakers if he wants to decide to help them. In summary, escape, don't die, and kill things. And that is how you play SCP Secret Laboratory in under 30 minutes. Bam! Half the time. If you enjoyed this, like and subscribe, and maybe comment if you have a question. I'll reply. You know I will. Yeah. Uh-huh.